They say some people chase ghosts, but Dakota Laden makes the ghosts chase him, and if you've ever felt the chill of a real paranormal encounter, or even just imagined what it's like to stare into the unknown, then missing this story would be like skipping the scariest page of a horror book, because Dakota isn't your average ghost hunter, he's a phenomenon, and the mystery around him starts not with fame, but with obsession. An obsession that took him from filming spooky YouTube videos to becoming one of the most talked about paranormal investigators in the world. And what makes it so fascinating is not just the footage or the locations, but the way Dakota brings fear into focus, turning every creak of a floorboard and whisper in the dark into a moment that makes millions of viewers sit up in silence. Because his work on Destination Fear didn't just bring cameras into haunted prisons and abandoned hospitals. It brought emotion, vulnerability, and raw dread, where the scariest part wasn't the ghosts, it was watching someone confront his own fear. And as his team traveled deeper into America's most cursed corners, the line between storytelling and supernatural seemed to blur, with viewers wondering whether Dakota was simply documenting or actually being pulled into something darker. And what's wild is how relatable he is. This isn't a guy with flashy graphics or over-the-top drama. It's a guy who quietly walked into a haunted house and let the terror unfold naturally, making you feel like you're right there next to him, heart pounding, hoping nothing whispers your name from behind. And yet the deeper you look into Dakota's journey, the more you realize he's not just exploring places. He's exploring something inside himself, and that's what hooks people, because in a world full of fake scares and jump cuts, he brings something hauntingly real. Whether it's the abandoned Sheboygan County Asylum or a forgotten penitentiary in the Midwest, Dakota finds energy where others find emptiness, and his bond with his team, Chelsea, Tanner, and Alex, makes the fear feel shared, like a family going into the dark together, refusing to scream alone. And there's a reason fans are loyal, why his name trends after every investigation, why forums light up with theories about what he saw, or what followed him back. Because Dakota doesn't just document fear, he lives it, and whether you believe in spirits or not, it's impossible to watch his work and not feel something crawling up your spine, something whispering that maybe, just maybe, the world is darker than we think. And while critics say it's all dramatized, Dakota's raw reactions, shaky breaths, and gut-deep honesty say otherwise. Especially in moments where even he wants to stop rolling but keeps going, for the audience, for the truth, or maybe for something else entirely. And the most eerie part is how the deeper he goes, the more personal it becomes. Because these aren't just episodes, they're emotional exorcisms, they're symbolic descents into Dakota's psyche, where past traumas and ghostly encounters blend together into a cocktail of adrenaline and authenticity. And fans notice. That's why TikTok's full of reactions, Reddit threads dissect every sound, and YouTube is loaded with people trying to explain what Dakota himself doesn't fully understand, and with new viewers finding him every day. Especially after his solo experiments and behind-the-scenes breakdowns started circulating online, Dakota's influence stretches beyond paranormal. It's now part of pop culture, and this shift from niche ghost hunter to mainstream mystery man is why everyone's talking about him. Because we're not just curious about the ghosts, we're curious about the guy who's brave enough to face them, and that's where the real hook is. Dakota Laden represents what most of us wouldn't dare to do: go into the dark, unarmed except with a flashlight and a belief that something's waiting. And when that something shows itself, you don't run, you document. And if that's not the definition of fearless, then what is? Because behind every episode and every whisper in the dark is a guy who took a childhood fascination and turned it into a legacy of fear. A guy who doesn't scream the loudest but listens the closest. And that quiet intensity is what made people stop scrolling and start watching. And they didn't just watch, they obsessed. They followed every location, every clue, every unexplained whisper in the footage, and in doing so, they created a community, a legion of believers, skeptics, and curious minds who might not agree on what a ghost is but all agree on one thing. Dakota Laden is different, he's authentic, and in 2025, when paranormal content is louder and faker than ever, Dakota stands out by being calm, real, and haunting in the quietest way possible. And the irony is that the man chasing shadows might be the clearest thing we see in this world of filters, edits, and gimmicks. And if you haven't watched his story yet, you're missing out on more than a ghost hunt. You're missing out on the most personal paranormal journey ever caught on camera. So ask yourself this: when was the last time fear felt real, unscripted, and strangely beautiful? Because that's what Dakota delivers. night after night, ghost after ghost, fear after fear.